G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, back at it again with another r/entitled parent stories. Now sit back, relax and enjoy it, because you might get a little angry at this one. Mother does not believe one of my telescopes is worth 10,000 euro. Tries to steal one. Background: I'm into stargazing and deep sky photography, like the Andromeda Galaxy, since about 8 years, and acquired quite a bit of hardware over the years. My most expensive setup is my deep sky photography setup, which costs around 10 to 12,000 euros to buy new. It is also my smallest setup, as I pick it up to be mobile and lightweight, so it looks rather unimpressive. Also important, it can only be used for photographs. You cannot look through it by yourself, so it is literally useless without a very decent camera. Usually, I carry 2 other setups with me, one with a high focal length and one with a short one. Both are Doppler telescopes, which mainly means that they're very stable, but heavy as frick, like 43 and 54 kilograms in total. Both all in all, roughly 2,000 euros. Once a year, I go on a camping trip with my best friend to Finland. We enjoy the low light pollution and the cold weather a lot. We usually set up the telescopes right at the start and leave the 2 big ones outside for the whole duration of the stay, and have the expensive one out only when we need it. It is quite normal that people are very interested, and we're more than happy to show and explain to them the basics, even though most are disappointed by the huge quality difference between what you see on a photo and with the naked eye. On to the story. We had all telescopes out, hoping to stack some nice M31 images and get a few good looks. Just as we're started, a mother and a teenager daughter come up to us. She asks us what we were doing, and my friend happily explained to them and showed them some closer stuff in one of the telescopes while I was preparing the photography setup and programming everything. This went on for a few minutes, and after a while, the mother, jokingly, not really, suggested that we should give her daughter one of the telescopes, as we're only 2 people and do not need 3 telescopes. We explained to her that the different body types are for different applications, thus we need all of them. We also told her that our telescopes are quite expensive, but that she could buy her daughter some beginner ones for 200 to 400 euros. Of course, she was not going to have that, and told her daughter to test the small, expensive and just set up telescope. I could luckily stop her before she did any harm to my aim, and explained the price of my setup, and that our time actually runs short and we need to start soon. Of course, she did not believe a single word, and claimed it would be a 50 euro toy, and perfect for her daughter, but we eventually just got rid of her. Just a little bit after schedule, which is fine for such projects. We went on with our night, had some successful shots, and somewhere around 1 AM decided that it's time to go to sleep. So, I quickly took the photography setup in the car and locked the Doppler mounting to its corresponding telescope so it could not be moved anymore, unless you move it all at once. We went to our tents, and while my friend was probably already sleeping, I was still on my phone for an hour or so, until I heard some noise outside. Hoping it would either be people seeing the northern lights, or some wild animal like a fox, I got my shoes and sneaked outside, just to see a small person in the dark, desperately trying to carry our biggest 54 kilogram telescope away. It took me a second to understand what was going on, and as I realized it, the person saw me as well and just went off as if nothing ever happened in a fast pace. Sadly, I was not fast enough in my thinking to follow the person, but I am still absolutely certain it was the mother who was trying to steal one of our telescopes. And as we would not give her the small one, which she thought is cheap, she decided she would take the biggest one, which was actually the cheapest, but looks the most expensive due to its size. We have been very lucky that no calibrations were needed after the rough handling, as every single screw has to be perfectly accurate set, which can take hours without the right equipment. And we've also been very lucky to never see that woman and her daughter ever again. For our next holiday, I'm getting us a long stainless steel chain, so we can lock the 2 big telescopes together for some extra security. Thank you for reading my first ever bad camping experience. May this never happen to any of you. And our next story was posted by user Urukadi, titled, "My entitled father thinks he owns my sister's uterus." My sister was in an abusive relationship for 6 years. Unfortunately, like many women that went through the same, she was manipulated by her ex-boyfriend, and didn't have enough self-esteem to stop the abuse. She didn't think it was abuse until things got really ugly. Fortunately, the marriage has ended last week, and now she is in much better shape and headed towards a better life. After the breakup, my sister reunited the family to tell us about it. This is when the entitlement took place. The cast is entitled dad, entitled mum, sister, and me. This is how the conversation went. Sister to everyone says, "I have important news. I broke up with insert crappy ex-husband's name." "What? Why? What happened?" Sister proceeds to tell the story of a 6 years abusive relationship with a lot of verbal and even physical abuse. "Well, okay, but what about me?" "What do you mean, Dad?" "Well, you still have to give me a grandson. You're 33 years old. You won't be able to have healthy children much longer." "Dad, how can you say something like that to me? I've been through hell and back, and all you can think about is your grandchild that doesn't even exist?" "Yes, I gave you life, a proper education, house, food, everything you wanted. The least you can give us is a grandchild." "Yeah, I agree. We're very impatient. All I want is a grandchild." "I am not having a child with a man like a crappy ex-husband. I need to find the right man, the one that will love and cherish me." "Well, you better do that soon. I'm tired of waiting. I swear, both you and your brother are the most ungrateful children I could have been cursed with. You cannot make me have a child. It's my body. I will have a child whenever I feel to, not when you want." "Unfortunately, you're right. I can't. I want to have a grandchild so bad, you have no idea. If the child was a boy, maybe I can shape him into a real man, unlike your brother. For context, I'm gay, and my father hates me for it. I only went to the family reunion because my sister really insisted for me to go." The fight got really ugly, and from that on, I backed up my sister the entire time, and we ended up storming out of the house. Both of us haven't talked to our parents since that event. My dad is such a horrible and selfish person. I have other stories about him that I'll maybe tell someday. I'm just happy that my sister is better and now has a chance to find the right person for her. Sadly, this isn't an uncommon thing. The second a girl or a woman gets serious with someone, it's, "When do we get some grandbabies?" As if the grandparents have any claim on the kids that may or may not come along. My husband shut this down fast with my mum. She had a habit of just coming over whenever she wanted to tell us how much she wanted grandchildren. Finally, my husband had enough. "So you want grandkids?" "Yes," my mum said. "Then stop interrupting us in our efforts." She stopped coming by without calling, stopped asking about grandkids. She couldn't ask us without thinking of what he said to her, which embarrassed her to no end. That's such a good way to shut her down. Well done to your husband. And our next story is by the user The Weird Lip, titled, "So I'm the piece of crap for not pulling a bathroom out of my butt for your poorly dressed little girl?" Hey folks, about a week ago at the gas station I work at, it was snowing pretty lightly, and it was really chilly out. Definitely like the kind of bundle up weather. It had just passed the 7 o'clock mark on my 2 to 10 shift, and it was already pretty dark. Contextual bits. My gas station doesn't have public restrooms. All we have is a couple of porta potties right around the building. Not a lot of light over there, but it's better than nothing considering we're a couple dozen miles from regular civilization. Now back to the story. This guy, ED is entitled Dad, maybe 30 to 35, had an attitude from the get-go. And his daughter, QC, quiet child. She said nothing and just sort of did what her dad asked her. Looked around 5 to 6 years old. They come into the gas station and have a 10-second look around the place before looking at me and asking if they could use our bathroom. I say, "We've only got porta potties around the right of the building." "What? Not even for her?" Gesturing to quiet kid. "The porta potties are all we've got. It's goddamn freezing out there, and there's hardly any light. You really gonna make her go out there?" "Sir, I've already told you that we don't have anything but the porta potties. And unless you can think she can hold it for a while, she's gonna have to use it." Unbelievable. He grabs the quiet child's arm and goes outside to the porta potties. At this point, I'm pissed off because 1, he just tried to guilt me using his daughter, and I hate when parents use their kids like that. And 2, he's dressed in a pretty snug overcoat and winter hat. She's wearing the thinnest pair of pajamas I've ever seen. No coat, no gloves, no anything to keep her warm. They come back about 5 minutes later, and he's still huffing about the lack of public restrooms. Well, that was horrible, cold and dark for a little girl. Yep, I'm still being dismissive because I'd rather he just spew his nonsense and leave than try and prolong her being out in this weather like that. Finally, they both come up with their stuff and I start ringing them out. I noticed how sad Quiet Child looks, and I lean down, and before Entitled Dad knows what's going on, and ask her pretty plainly, "Would you like a sticker?" We keep a big folder of stickers for some of our regular kids. She nods, shivering. So I quickly grab a couple of sets of the girliest stickers I can find, and walk around from my register and crouch in front of her for display. She picks up a sticker, the purple cat playing with yarn, and I pat it down on her shirt, and they leave. Entitled Dad totally silent and brooding. Moral of the story: dress your kids properly and make sure you don't have to worry about them being cold and upset. Edit: yes, there is an employee bathroom, but I'm going to restate the same things I've said to people in the comments that are spreading around without full context. 1. The employee bathroom is cleaned far less often than the porta potties, and ironically enough, is the less sanitary option. I don't use it myself unless I have to because, well, it's a gas station. Everybody has a gas station bathroom horror story. The porta potties here are cleaned 3 times a week, and considering how much traffic my gas station gets in the middle of nowhere, that keeps them pretty dang clean. 2. I could get in trouble for letting anyone use the employee bathroom for a few reasons. Our bathroom is situated right between our dry/miscellaneous stock and our walk-in cooler stock. That makes it a prime target for theft unless I leave my coworker alone and take the person back there, wait till they're done and escort them back out. With 2 people ever working on a single shift, I don't have the time to just stand around and wait for people to use the bathroom, and I don't have the free time in my shift to clean up the bathroom should they use it. For the few of you saying the girl could have gone by herself, she couldn't have. She was at least 4 to 5, maybe 6. She was way too young to be going to the bathroom by herself. Not even mentioning the fact that in my time around the girl and the dad, the girl didn't once show any real sign of desperately needing the bathroom. Seemed to me that the dad was the only one who really needed it, not her, and thus saw an opportunity to somehow win my favor by using his daughter as a guilt card. Obviously no dice. Glad I could clear that up. Also, for Christ's sake, she wasn't being kidnapped. They looked like each other. They looked like father-daughter. Alright, that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode today. Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.